Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's episode, we are diving into Azure Blueprints for automated governance. We'll talk about how Blueprint helps you streamline and enforce consistent governance, especially on Azure ecosystem. Let's get started. What is Azure Blueprint and its role in governance? In simple terms, it's a tool that allows you to define and deploy repeatable governance patterns. Think of it as a way to automate and standardize a way resources are deployed and managed in Azure. It's all about ensuring that your resources comply with your corporate policy, security requirements, and regulatory standards given by your government or your organization. A blueprint brings together key components like Azure policies, RBAC roles, and resource templates in one unified package. Now, you can use it to do a lot of things. I mean, sky is the limit. It all depends on the template you create. But some of the use case is you can deploy environments that are pre-configured with the help of a template for things like security, networking, and compliance automation. You can apply governance standard and make sure that your environment is consistent every time. And you can do it across multiple subscription. This will speed up the process of ensuring that compliance is met. You don't have to double guess your job. Now, how to create and assign Azure blueprints? Well, creating a blueprint is pretty straightforward. First, you define the component you need. That is, do you need Azure policies, RBAC roles, or resource templates? Well, you can do this through an Azure Blueprint editor, which lets you customize and design your blueprint. Once your blueprint is ready, you assign it to a management group or subscription or a resource group. You'll also need to set parameters like the region of your resource, what will be the size of your resource, what will be the networking settings, and much more. Another important thing or concept is managing blueprint versions. Remember, it's not mentioned here, here, blueprint versions. Well, you are not assigning just one version here. You might want to create multiple versions for the same kind of deployment. So versionization will allow you to track changes and keep deployment consistent over time. Once assigned, you can deploy the blueprint and use the blueprint dashboard to monitor compliance and track your resources. Now, enforcing standards and compliance with blueprint, that is also a very important task. Well, the real power of Azure Blueprint actually lies in the ability to enforce standardization deployment. You can use blueprints to make sure that resources across your environment are all configured in the same exact way. Now, by integrating Azure policies and RBAC roles, you also ensure that security and compliance standards are always met. Blueprint actually lets you deploy compliance-ready environment quickly with a very minimal manual intervention from your administrator. And with your blueprint dashboard, let me find it. Yeah, it comes here in the monitoring. So with your blueprint dashboard, you can audit and monitor the compliance of your resources in real time. making governance at scale a very easy job. Now, what do you mean by governance at scale? Well, once your blueprint is ready and you have tested it multiple times, in the future, if your governance needs to scale along with your scale of your department or your organization, if they grow up, you don't have to create the blueprints again and again. No, you already have it. You just deploy it. And new environment will be deployed very quickly. And you can rest assured that the new deployment is still following your old blueprint rules. Now let's move to the lab. In the lab, we will create a simple blueprint. I will show you that where you can find this feature or service on Azure. And we will also try to apply and publish a blueprint. Why not? So let's go to our lab. All right, now let's see how to apply blueprints. Remember, Azure want us to move on to the latest service, that is Azure Template Spec. But blueprint is still there, but it will be removed eventually. So search for blueprints, and they also mention it here. So July 11, 2026, this will be deprecated. And everybody is expected to move to template specs, a new service. Both have the same functionality, that is, using your templates to create a standardized environment again and again in a repetition. But let's create a temporary blueprint. So basically, the task is to create a blueprint, then apply to a scope, and then you just track the assignment that if the publishing of the resources is actually completed or not. So let's create a blueprint. Now, these are some examples you can use, or you can actually create a blank blueprint as well. We already have an example, so we will use that. So let's say I said basic networking. All right, this will be a demo, demo blueprint. Definition location, where do you want to create it? So I want to create it in my subscription, so I'll select that. Next, the artifacts. This is where you will define your resources step by step in a sequence. So in this example, we can see that subscription is there. And then if I want to add a policy or something like over here, you can keep on adding more artifacts. You can add policies, you can add role assignments, even you can add your own template, the ARM template, or a resource group. Now, VNet resource group is already there in this example. So a resource group was actually added. And then a NSG for a VNet plus VNet with one subnet will be created. If you click on it, you will be able to see the JSON, the ARM template, in JSON format. JavaScript, basically. You can actually make changes if you want. So if you click here, you can actually set a specific prefix, means you can put your own IP, or if you want Azure to ask for it, this value should be specified when the blueprint is assigned. You can also do that. How about VNet? Similar thing. You can actually put your values over here. Let's say if you want to make it static, you can say that, hey, keep it 10.0.0.0/16. Or you can also say that, hey, ask for me to put the value when I'm assigning this blueprint. Once it is done, you will save the draft. Saving a blueprint will not actually automatically assign it. You're just saving it for future use. So if I go to my draft, here is my blueprint. Let's say after 1 month or whenever you want to actually apply this blueprint, you can just click on it and click on publish. Version will be 0.1, let's say. All right, now it is published. All right, now it is published. I can finally assign it. So let's assign it and give all the values here. Remember, we actually configured it in this way so that we will be able to put the value if we want to change it. So assignment name will be default. Location, I want to change it to, let's say, Canada Central. Version will be 0.1. Do you want to put a lock on the resources? You can. Name will be demo, let's say. And Canada Central. I don't want to change this, but you can change. You can use class B or C as well and assign. Can you add multiple subnets? No, the template do not provide you this opportunity, but if you change it, yes, you will be able to add more subnets as well and assign. Once you assign it, this blueprint will be active and the resources will be created. Now we will just wait for it. As you can see, assignment was successful. If we go back to resource group, we don't see anything because the blueprint is still initiating at the back end. So give it some time. And if you go to your blueprint assignment page, assign blueprints, as you can see, it's still saying provisioning status waiting. Let me refresh. Yes, it's still waiting. I will stay here. As you can see now, the status is changed to deploying. It's still deploying. We can actually check if something is deployed or not. Yes, my resource group is there. Now let's check for the VNet and NSG. Both are there. So that is how you actually deploy a blueprint. Let's go back. And here we go. Deployment done. All right, now let's check out how to remove the blueprints properly. So before you delete your blueprint definitions, you first have to remove all the active assignments. That is easy. Go to assigned blueprints and just click on unassigned blueprint. Remember, when you unassign a blueprint, your resources will not be deleted. It's still there. Now we can actually go ahead and delete this blueprint. Gone. But the resources are still there. So if you want to remove the resources as well, you have to do it separately. Like this. Now the resource groups are also gone. Perfect. How can you create your own blueprint? Let's go to blueprint definition and click on create blueprints and start with a blank blueprint. Next, for the artifact, everything is empty. You have to start somewhere. So let's start with adding our artifact one by one. So first of all, I will add a resource group. Name will be demo RG resource group. Do you want to ask for the name or do you want to give a name permanently to this blueprint? I can do that. Test resource group. Location will be static, that is Canada Central. And add. Now in this resource group, I want to add a virtual network, let's say. So you have to click on ARM template. Over here, you have to copy and paste the template. Now, where will you get this template? The easiest way is, again, Microsoft Learn account, and Microsoft will give you all the templates. Or you can actually go to Azure portal, actually deploy a template. I mean, not deploy actually, just fill everything. At the very end, once everything is evaluated, you will be able to download the JSON script. So let's say this will be test RG. This will be called demo vnet in Canada Central. Next, security, I don't want anything here. IP address, I'll keep it, tags, and then. Now, before you deploy, on top, view automation template. You can click on that. For some resources, your JSON will be available on the right-hand side corner as well, over here. And here we go. This is the template. But remember, this template have all the possible parameters, like a lot. You may have to remove certain parameters. But just an example, I will select everything, copy, and paste it here. As you can see, there's a lot of parameters, and we don't want to configure all of it. But you got the idea. So now, whatever you want to keep, you can just keep it. Rest, you have to go ahead and remove that section one by one. Another way, you can also ask Copilot or ChatGPT to just give you the script for a specific parameters you are interested in. And once you are satisfied with that, then you can just keep on adding and then save the draft. From this point onward, everything is just normal. You create your draft, you publish it, and then you assign it. Welcome back. I hope now you know how easy it is to apply a blueprint. But remember, creating blueprint, publishing it, and deploying it is easy. The most complex part is to create awesome scripts and templates where your JSON scripting skills will be tested. Now, to sum it up, Azure Blueprints allow you to automate and standardize the deployment of governance policies. You can also set up your resource groups, plus subscription configuration, plus resource deployment with the help of JSON templates. You can use it to make sure that your environment right now, plus in the future, are consistent. Well, you can also bring any other future policies, roles, and templates for faster, scalable governance, and you can create multiple versions out of it. So thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next episode where we will discuss more Azure services. Take care.